Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be talking about the 2025 releases that I am excited for. So 2025 is going to be a big year for book releases. I feel like there's so many books coming out in 2025 and I have a list of 27 books here that I'm excited about that will be coming out in 2025. Now I am going to try to keep these in order of when they come out and I'm going to try and keep it brief when talking about them. So we're just going to go ahead and get on into the video where we talk about the releases that I'm excited for. So obviously starting in January, and I am going to pop the book covers up along with the release dates. I'm not going to try and like sort it out by month because I didn't do that in my notes. Like I literally just have a list of the books that I'm excited for, so I don't know what month they're for, but we are starting with January obviously. But I am going to put a picture and then the date that they are supposed to come out. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first book is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in the Empyrean series, and I believe this is going to be like a 5-book series, but this is the third one, and I was a little bit disappointed by Iron Flame, but I feel like the way that it ended, I'm super excited to read the third one to see what's going to happen. I absolutely loved Fourth Wing, gave it 5 stars, and then Iron Flame gave 3.5 stars I think. So I'm definitely interested to see what Rebecca Yarros is going to do with Onyx Storm. Next we have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young, and if you watched my book swap video that I did with Steph, I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young and I absolutely loved it, and I have since decided that anything that she writes I'm going to read. So I'm super excited for this book to come out in 2025. I have started collecting her backlist so I can read that as well. So I'm super excited about this, especially considering it follows the couple from Out on a Limb and it gives like some insight into their like marriage and stuff. So I'm super excited about this one. Next we have Where Did You Go by Janine O'Reilly, and this is the third book in the Infatuated Fae series, and I started reading this series earlier this year. I enjoyed the first one. It wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but I am intrigued with the storyline and I definitely want to see where the author takes this series. So I'm definitely interested in picking up the third one. I feel like the second one was just okay to me, but I'm definitely interested to see where we're going from the ending of the second one. So next we have Iron and Embers by Helen Scher, and this is the first book in the Ashes of Thesmar series, which is a spin-off of the Legends of Thesmar series, which follows Thea's sister Ren, and I'm super excited about this series. I read the Legends of Thesmar series earlier this year and absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited to read this spin-off. I cannot wait to be back in this world with these characters and I'm just so excited. I feel like this is probably one of my most anticipated of the year, like one of the ones that I'm like the most excited about. Next we have Scythe and Sparrow by Bryn Weaver, and this is the third book in the Ruinous Love trilogy, and this is following the third and final brother, and his name is Fionn. I don't know why I thought his name was something else, but his name is Fionn and we're following him and Rose, and I remember like Rose is part of a circus, or she had been, and Fionn is like a doctor. So I'm definitely interested to see how this is going to play out, especially with the whole like murder aspect that we've had in the previous 2 books. So yeah, we'll see about that. Next we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and this is Ali Hazelwood's first sports romance. This is a swimming romance, which I've never read before, so I'm super excited to read this book. I am an Ali Hazelwood stan. I read just about anything that she writes. I've been following her since The Love Hypothesis when I got it in my Book of the Month box like 2 years ago, and have been absolutely obsessed with her ever since. So I'm super excited for this book to come out. Next we have Wildside by Elsie Silver, and this is the third book in the Rose Hill series, and I'm a little iffy about the premise of this one because we got some hints about it and it seems like the main male character is going to be a wrestler, and so I'm a little unsure about that, but I am still excited for this book. I have loved everything that I've read from Elsie Silver. I don't think I've given any of her books less than 3 stars, so I'm super excited to continue on with this series in 2025. Next we have Promise Me Not by Cara Stone, and this one I'm excited for because I recently read Ready or Not by Cara Stone and absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars and I cannot wait to read her newest book that's about to come out. Plus, I just love her covers. Like, they are so stunning and gorgeous and beautiful, and I cannot wait to read this book. Next, we have Oathbound by Tracy Dion, and this is the 3rd book in the Legendborn cycle, and I am so excited for this book. I feel like we have been waiting for book 3 forever. Like, I know book 2 came out back in 2022, but I'm so excited to continue on in that series. I love that series so much. It's such a fun YA series, and it's like a King Arthur retelling, and it's just so good. And if you have not read the series, I definitely recommend it, but I'm super excited for this 3rd book to come out in 2025. Next, we have Merit by Devney Perry, and this is the 4th book in the Treasure State Wildcats series, and this is a football romance series that Devney Perry has been putting out, and I have been really enjoying that series, so I'm super excited to read this next one whenever it does come out. I really love Devney Perry, and I have been reading pretty much every new release that she's come out with since I started reading the Indigo Ridge series, and I've even dived into some of her backlist a little bit. I just really enjoy her writing. I feel like her books are such good palette cleansers, and they're so quick, they're so fast paced, they're so easy to read. I love her storylines, and so I'm super excited to read this book. Next, we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and I like Emily Henry. I feel like some of her books hit for me and some of them are kind of misses for me. Like Funny Story, I didn't love Funny Story. I think I gave it 3 stars, but I read Happy Place and absolutely loved it. I read People We Met on Vacation and absolutely loved it. Book Lovers I enjoyed. I thought Beach Read was okay, and I know that's like an unpopular opinion and maybe I just need to reread it, but I don't know. I feel like some of her books hit better for me and some of them don't, so I don't know. We'll see what I think about this one, but I think this one is about 2 authors competing to write a bibliography about this lady, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know if bibliography is the right word for what they're doing, but it seems interesting. I enjoyed Book Lovers, so I'm super excited to read this by her. Next, we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and I have read every single Abby Jimenez book except for Just for the Summer that did come out this year, and I have not gotten to it yet, but Abby Jimenez is an autobiography author for me. I have enjoyed every single book by her that I've read, so I'm super excited about this one, and it just seems like such a fun premise. Plus, I really like this cover, so I'm super excited to read this book in 2025. Next, we have Rewind It Back by Liz Tom Ford, and I am so excited for this book. I have been reading the Windy City series since 2023, I think is when I read the first one, and just fell in love with the series. I love Liz Tom Ford's writing. I love this series. I love the characters. I love the found family aspect that is in it. I love the fact that it's a sports romance, but we're not in the same sport in each book, which has been so fun. I am just so obsessed with these characters, and I have given every book in the series of 4 stars or more. Like, my favorites are Mile High and Play Along. I love Play Along when I read it earlier this year, and I have not stopped thinking about that book since I read it, so I'm super excited for this one. I'm so excited for Rio's story, and I hate that it is the last book in the series, but I am super excited to see what Liz Tom Ford has coming next once this series is finished. But this series has a special place in my heart, and I'm so excited for this final book. Next, we have Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage, and this is the 4th book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. So this is following Gus, who was the main male character in the 3rd book, his daughter's mother. So Gus and I forget her name, but they were not like ever married or anything. It was literally just like a one-night stand as friends. Like, they decided to co-parent together. There's no bad blood, like they are still friends. But at the end of Gus's book, we got a little sneak peek into what's going to happen in this 4th book, and I'm super excited about it. I am so excited because I know we're following Dusty and the mom, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I love Lila Sage's writing. Her books are so quick and easy to read, and they're just so fun, and cowboy romances are just so fun. So I'm super excited to hopefully read this one in 2025, and I'm super excited for this release. Next we have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, and this is the second book in the Phantasma series. I'm not sure if that is going to be the name of the series or not, but this is going to be a series of interconnected standalones, and in Enchantra we're going to follow our main character from Phantasma's sister, and she is going off to Europe, I believe, and something's going on there, and there is going to be a romance there, which I'm really excited about. I really like the idea of interconnected standalone fantasy books. I feel like that is just a concept. Like, that is such a concept. Like, why did we not think of that before? And I'm sure somebody has, but I just feel like that is just a concept and I love it. So I'm super excited for Enchantra when it does come out. I loved Phantasma, so I'm sure that I'm also going to really enjoy Enchantra as well. Next we have Fearless by Lauren Roberts, and I was a little bit hesitant to put this book on this list because this is the third book in the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts, and I have yet to read Reckless, so I was a little bit hesitant to put this on there when I haven't read the second book, but I really enjoyed Powerless, so I'm definitely interested to read the next two. But I feel like there were so many mixed feelings about Reckless that it has had me a little hesitant to pick it up. So this one is on here, but it's like a question mark. Next we have The Last Session by Julia Bartz, and this is a mystery thriller. And I read The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz and enjoyed it. It was so like creepy and atmospheric and just like, what is this? And I like really enjoyed it, that I wanted to read this author's next book that is coming out, and I'm super excited about this one because I believe this one is like following a therapist, and so I'm definitely interested to see what I'm going to think about this book. Next we have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, and I believe this is the first book in a new series that Rachel Gillig is starting. I read One Dark Window earlier this year and absolutely loved it, and have decided to put the second book on my 25 books to read in 2025 list. So I'm super excited to read that, but then when I heard that Rachel Gillig was also coming out with another book, I decided that I wanted to pick that one up as well, just because I really enjoy Rachel Gillig's stories. Even though gothic fantasy usually isn't something that I lean into, I feel like the way that she did One Dark Window has me wanting to read more from her. So I'm super excited for this book to come out in 2025. Next we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this is a like girl in STEM book, and I'm super excited to read this. I feel like Taylor Jenkins Reid does historical fiction in a way that I really enjoy, because I'm not a historical fiction lover. Like, I'm not typically one to gravitate towards historical fiction, but if Taylor Jenkins Reid is writing it, then I'm probably going to read it, just because I love the way that she writes. I love the way that she tells stories, and I feel like this one is one that I'm excited for. Next we have Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This is the third book in the Lakefront Billionaires series, and again, a little hesitant to put this one on the list because I have not read Love Unwritten just yet, so I was hesitant to put this third book on the list. But I really enjoy Lauren Asher's books, and they're so fast-paced and quick to read, even though they are sometimes upward of 500 pages for romance books. But I feel like I really enjoy her stories, and so I definitely know that this is one that I would want to read. So once I read Love Unwritten, I know I'm probably going to want to go into this one. So I'm super excited for this one, and hopefully I can get to it in 2025. So next is a book that I feel like you guys are going to be surprised about because it is a horror, and that is going to be Immaculate Conception by Ling Ling Hong. And I read Natural Beauty by Ling Ling Hong earlier this year, and that was their debut novel, and I really enjoyed it, even though it was a horror book, and that's not something I usually read. I don't super dive into horror like that. I have been reading a little bit more of it this year, and I'm definitely interested to kind of find my niche in the genre. So this is a book by an author that I have read in the past, and I enjoyed that book by this author, so I definitely want to see what else this author can come up with. So I'm definitely interested in reading this book in 2025 as well. Next we have have Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry, and this is her first fantasy book that she has ever written. So I'm so excited about this because I love Devney Perry, like I mentioned earlier, but the fact that she is writing a romantasy, sign me up. Like, I'm there, like I'm sat for it. So I'm so excited for this one. I feel like this is another one of my like really most anticipated books for 2025. So I'm super excited to hopefully get to this one in 2025 as well. Next we have Battle of the Bookstores by Ali Brady, and this is their new release that is going to be coming out later in 2025. Now, I really enjoy Ali Brady's books. They are another author duo that I found a couple of years ago when I read The Beach Trap by them, and I really loved that book. I really enjoyed their writing style. I love their storytelling. I love their characters. I love how their books focus on like female friendships and then also have like a romance in the back, and I just really enjoy their books. So if you have not picked up a book by them, please do so. I'm super excited for this one to come out in 2025. Next we have Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, and this is the third book in her Before I Let Go series. I'm not sure what the name of the actual series is, but this is the third book in the series, and I believe this is going to be the final book in the series maybe. But I loved this series. I loved following the women in these books as they navigate life and their relationships, and I feel like this series of books is just so like good. I don't know how else to explain it. Kennedy Ryan's writing style is absolutely beautiful. Her storytelling is so good, and I'm so excited to get to this book. I am definitely interested to see where we're going in this one because I just think it's going to be a good time. So I'm super excited to read this one. Next we have Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer, and this is the third book in the Apprentice to the Villain series, and I read the first two books earlier this year. Really enjoyed them, and so I'm super excited for this third book. I feel like this series is so fun. It is like a fantasy, it's a slow burn, has like a slow burn romance in it. It's like comedy, it's like nothing that you would take too serious. Like, it's so fun. It's like essentially like a fantasy rom-com, I guess, if you will, but it's so unserious, but it's so fun. But some of the topics are a little bit like, I don't want to say darker, but like some of the topics are a little bit heavier, and so just to have like the comedic aspect to kind of offset some of those like heavier things is just so good, the way that I feel like it was done in these books. So I'm super excited to read this third book come 2025. Next we have The Ballad of Fallen Dragons by Sarah A. Parker, and this is the second book in the When the Moon Hatched series. I don't know if that's going to be the title of the series, but I read When the Moon Hatched earlier this year and really enjoyed it. So I'm super excited to read this next installment in the series. I just know this one's going to be chunky like the last one. So I'm definitely interested to see what I'm going to think about this book and how the series continues. So this is another one that I am really excited for to come out in 2025. And the final book on this list, I know you guys probably didn't think that I was going to mention this, but of course I could not end this video without mentioning Quicksilver #2. So I did recently just read Quicksilver a few days ago actually, and I absolutely loved it. Probably one of my favorite books of the year, probably one of my favorite books of all time. Absolutely loved this book, and the second book isn't coming out until November of 2025, and I am on the edge of my seat waiting for it. I am sat for Quicksilver #2. I'm so excited for it to come out. I literally will be pre-ordering it as soon as the link goes live, as soon as we have a title. Like, I don't even care about the cover or anything, but as soon as the link goes live to pre-order it, I will be. It is in my cart, it is checked out, take my money. Like, because I cannot, like, the fact that I have to wait 11 months for this book, like, I could actually scream about it, and definitely my most anticipated book of 2025, and I literally cannot wait. So if you have not read Quicksilver, do yourself a favor and read it, because it is literally so good, so good. So if that's the only advice that you take from this video, it's to read Quicksilver. what can I say? So those are all the books that I'm super excited for that are coming out in 2025. I'm sure there will probably be some more that come out that I learn about later on in the year that I am going to be super excited for as well. And I am just feeling like 2025 is going to be such a good reading year. There's so many new releases. There's so many series continuations that I'm super excited for, and I just feel like it's going to be such a good reading year. So let me know in the comments if you are excited about any of these books that I mentioned in this video, or if there were some that I didn't mention that you're excited for. Let me know down in the comments as well. If you made it to this point in the video, leave the celebration emoji to let me know that you made it to this point in the video. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I will have all of my social media linked in the description, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.